From iconic milestones to overlooked masterpieces, these are 10 rock albums from the 1970s that changed music forever and the forgotten gems hiding inside them. Number 10. A Nod is as Good as a Wink to a Blind Horse by Faces.
I was just 18, shoot at me, and all I knew.
Faces didn't invent ragged swagger. They perfected it. Their 1971 album, A Nod is as Good as a Wink, sounded like spilled pints, neon jukebox glow, and a band determined to squeeze joy out of every crooked chord. Rod Stewart's voice rasped like a back-alley poet, while Ronnie Wood laid down riffs that felt both dangerously loose and impossibly tight. By most accounts, the sessions were as chaotic as the band's live shows, gear breaking, laughter echoing through the studio, and music emerging from pure chemistry rather than precision. But that spirit is exactly what set the album apart.
She was moody, but she always didn't get her own way.
Stay With Me became the FM staple, but deep cuts like Love Lives Here show the band's warm, aching undercurrent that most casual listeners never heard. Half barroom celebration, half bruised heart confession, it's a blueprint countless bands still chase. If that was thunder, the next one is lightning. Number 9. Something Anything by Todd Rundgren.
Though I knew that there was something wrong.
Todd Rundgren didn't just push boundaries in 1972, he dissolved them. Something Anything is famously a one-man masterpiece, with Rundgren writing, producing, and playing nearly every instrument on 3 of the album's 4 sides. Legend has it, the only thing he didn't do was bring the pizza to the studio.
'Cause I couldn't ever love no one, so I say.
Across its sprawling runtime, he leaps from power pop sparkle to blue-eyed soul, from synth experiments to heartbreak confessionals. I Saw the Light feels like it floated out of a dream, while Hello It's Me still stops listeners in their tracks with its bittersweet, late-night glow.
But I love you best. It's not.
But the real treasure lies in the quirkier tracks of the hidden gems that show Rundgren hammering out pop architecture in real time. This wasn't just an album, it was a manifesto for DIY visionaries everywhere, decades before home recording became the norm. Turn the dial up. This next track sets the sound on fire. Number 8, Low by David Bowie.
I've left every place.
In 1977, Bowie didn't just take a left turn, he veered off the map entirely. Low arrived like a transmission from a future no one had imagined yet. Recorded in Berlin, fueled by artistic rebirth and a longing for escape, Bowie carved out icy soundscapes and fractured beats that stunned critics and fans alike. Side.
Sometimes you get nowhere.
A flirts with pop structures, jagged, sharp, pulsing with nervous energy, but side B, that's where the legend grows, ambient, instrumental, haunting the soundtrack of a man rebuilding his identity piece by piece. Reportedly, Bowie and producer Brian Eno experimented endlessly, treating synthesizers like alien languages waiting to be decoded.
Sometimes you get so lonely.
At the time, some listeners didn't know what to make of it. Today, its fingerprints are everywhere: post-punk, electronic music, indie rock. A forgotten gem buried inside, Warsaw, a slow-burn cathedral of sound. Different city, the same rebel heartbeat, our next band carried the torch. Number 7, Aja by Steely Dan. In 1977, Steely Dan released Aja, An album so meticulously crafted, it reportedly drove session musicians to the brink, dozens of takes, hundreds of hours, and a relentless pursuit of sonic perfection. But the payoff? A record that glides like a midnight highway drive, smooth, shimmering, yet hiding razor-sharp edges beneath every chord. Walter Becker and Donald Fagen fused jazz sophistication with rock cool, refusing to settle for anything less than transcendent. Deacon Blues floats with melancholy elegance, while the title track stretches into a 7-minute jazz rock odyssey that still inspires musicians in every genre. But the forgotten gem lies deeper. Home, at last. A soulful retelling of the Odyssey disguised as a groove so laid back it feels like a hammock in the sun. One of the top 3 albums on this list literally saved a career, and the story behind this next cut still sparks debate among fans. Number 6. Argus by Wishbone Ash. Wishbone Ash may not be a household name today, but in 1972, they crafted one of rock's most influential twin guitar blueprints with Argus. Blending folk, prog, and hard rock muscle, the album marches forward like a medieval epic heroes, battles, introspection, and soaring guitar harmonies that would echo through bands from Thin Lizzy to Iron Maiden.
Takes more than a day and a night.
Reportedly, the band aimed to create something timeless, and you can hear that ambition in every sweeping transition. The king will come and throw down the sword, feel like you've stepped into a myth, while the real forgotten treasure, Leaf and Stream, delivers a gentle, contemplative breath in the middle of the storm. A cult classic then, an influential monument. Now Argus is the definition of a forgotten gem that changed the game quietly but profoundly. Quick pit stop if these classics still give you goosebumps. Hit like so more rock fans find this. And stick around because the top albums are the ones that truly define the decade. Number 5. El Dorado by Electric Light Orchestra. In 1974, Jeff Lynne steered ELO into full-blown orchestral fantasy with El Dorado, crafting a concept album that played like a Technicolor dream. While earlier records flirted with strings, this was the first time the band used a full orchestra, and the result was lush, cinematic, and completely unique on the rock landscape. The story follows a dreamer escaping into fantasy worlds, and Lynne reportedly poured his own frustrations and hopes into every movement. Can't Get It Out of My Head became the hit, floating across FM airwaves like a wistful sigh, but deeper inside lies El Dorado Overture, a sweeping, overlooked gem that sets the album's magical tone. What makes it revolutionary isn't just the orchestration, it's how naturally rock, pop, and classical textures blend. This was the moment ELO fully found its voice. We've rocked hard enough now for a slow burn anthem that hit the gut. Number 4, Heart Like a Wheel by Linda Ronstadt.
Why it had to happen to me.
Linda Ronstadt didn't just break through with Heart Like a Wheel, she detonated. Released in 1974, it took country rock to new heights, blending rootsy storytelling with a soaring vocal power few could match. By most accounts, the label doubted the album's commercial potential.
But my love for you is like a thing.
Then, Ronstadt stepped up to the mic, and everything changed. Her rendition of You're No Good lit up the charts, but the deep cuts reveal the album's true heart. Faithless Love and Dark End of the Street shimmer with emotional intelligence, Ronstadt delivering every line like she's lived it twice.
Some say the heart is
This record opened doors, set standards, and inspired countless women in rock, folk, and country to claim the spotlight. The Forgotten Gem sits quietly inside. When Will I Be Loved, an old Everly Brothers tune transformed into a fierce, confident anthem. If that moved you, brace yourself, our next album rewrote the rules. Number 3, Horses by Patti Smith.
Johnny wanted to move, but the movie kept moving as planned.
Patti Smith didn't walk into rock. She kicked the door wide open. Horses, 1975, is the moment punk poetry collided with raw, electric rebellion. Smith recorded it in a single burst of creative force, with producer John Cale reportedly pushing the intensity higher and higher until the walls practically vibrated. The opening line, "Jesus died for somebody's sins but not mine," wasn't just a lyric, it was a manifesto. Gloria and Redondo Beach grabbed listeners by the collar, but the forgotten jewel is Birdland, a swirling, spoken-word cyclone of grief and transcendence.
Let's go to space. It's a pretty little place.
This album didn't just influence punk, it shaped alternative music, indie ethos, and every artist who believed rock could be literature, performance, rebellion, and spiritual exploration all at once. And from punk revolution, we shift to a different kind of fire. Number 2, Back in Black by AC/DC. Released in 1980, Back in Black is more than an album. It's a resurrection. After the tragic passing of Bon Scott, many feared AC/DC's run was over. Instead, Brian Johnson stepped in, the band roared back to life, and producers reportedly felt something explosive happening from the first rehearsals. Every track is built like a steel beam, heavy, unbreakable, engineered for stadiums. You Shook Me All Night Long and Hell's Bells became instant anthems, but the Forgotten Gem is Shoot to Thrill, a masterclass in tension, release, and sheer rock adrenaline. This is the album that saved their career and turned AC/DC into one of the biggest bands on the planet. Our number 1 album split critics at release and then conquered the world. Lightning has struck, and one final masterpiece waits at the summit. Number 1, Marquee Moon by Television. In 1977, Television released Marquee Moon, an album so ahead of its time that critics didn't know whether to hail it as genius or dismiss it as too strange, too angular, too different. They soon figured it out. This was a blueprint for post-punk, indie rock, and every band that ever chased artful guitar interplay. Tom Verlaine and Richard Lloyd's twin guitar chemistry feels like a conversation, tense, lyrical, restless. Legend has it, the title track took countless takes as the band searched for the perfect balance between improvisation and precision. The result? A 10-minute journey that feels like walking through a neon-lit city at midnight. Every corner promising discovery. The Forgotten Gem, guiding light. A tender, understated ballad that reveals the band's emotional depth behind the sharp edges. A cult album then, a towering masterpiece now, and a fitting number 1. If that brought back memories, tap like and subscribe to keep the classics alive. From arena-shaking anthems to forgotten gems, these albums prove why rock's golden era will never die. Next up, Top 10 Underrated 80s Rock Bands Who Deserved More Fame. It's waiting for you on screen.